Hello class, and welcome to today's pre-algebra lesson, which is about area and perimeter. Today we will be discussing some different formulas that show the relationship between quantities. So a formula is a specific pattern that we can use to calculate certain quantities that we want to do. Two of these, for example, are area and perimeter. Perimeter is the distance around a certain geometric figure, so going around the outside, and the area is the measurement of the inside space of that geometric figure. We're going to look at two types of figures today. The first is a rectangle. So we have our two formulas here. The area is base times height, or it could be referred to as length times width. The perimeter is 2 times the width plus 2 times the length, or it could be 2 times the base plus 2 times the height, depending on which terminology you prefer. The other one that we are looking at today is triangles. So the area is equal to base times height divided by 2. And our perimeter is the 3 different sides of the triangle, which can be noted side 1, side 2, and side 3, all being added together. So we're going to start by finding the perimeter. In this first example, we have a triangle. So to find the perimeter, I would be doing 28.5 plus 12.8 plus 17. So we set it up by adding each of the values together, and then you would get your final answer, which is going to give you a perimeter of 58.3. And then our label is centimeters, because that tells you how far around, since the original measurements were in centimeters, our final measurement is going to be in centimeters. This next one is now talking about a rectangle. So I'm going to take and I'm going to have my perimeter is equal to 2 times my width. So 2 times 10.5 plus 2 times 15.2. So again, we take the values that they give us and we plug it into the formula, which in this case is going to give us a perimeter of 51.4, and then our label on this one is meters. So we take our values and we plug them into the formula. Go ahead and try these two on your own. So the first one, our perimeter is 36 inches. The second one, our rectangle, has a perimeter of 83.6 yards. We can also work backwards, utilizing these formulas, applying some of the rules from Chapter 4 to solve equations. So this one says the perimeter of a rectangle is 42 feet. It has a width of 10 feet. What is its length? So I can plug in, remember my formula is P is equal to 2 times the width plus 2 times the length. So I can plug into my formula the values for the perimeter, which was 42, is equal to 2 times 10, which was the value of the width, plus 2 times the length, which is what we don't know. So that's going to stay as a variable. I can solve this multiplication. So I've got 42 is equal to 20 plus 2 times L. Now it becomes a two-step equation, so I'm going to subtract 20 from both sides of my problem, and I'm going to get 22 is equal to 2 times the length. And then I'm going to solve by dividing both sides of the equation by 2. So I end up with 11, and then we've got to have a label. So 11 feet is equal to the length. That is our missing side of our rectangle. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Plugging in for the length, leaving the width as the variable, we multiply, then subtract and divide, and find out that the width is 5 yards. We also want to be able to use the other formulas, which are about area. So when I do this, starting with the area of my triangle, I'm going to take area is equal to my base of 12 times my height of 5.25, and then divide that by 2. So once again, we just plug our values into our different formula places, and I end up with 31.5. Now, because it's area, and we are talking about the space inside of the triangle, it is now inches squared. So it is talking about how many tiny inch by inch squares you would be able to fit into that triangle, and it would be 31.5. For the area of our rectangle, we take our base or our length and our width and our height, so whichever form you are given, and we multiply those values, which when we do that, we are going to get an answer in this case of 215.46, and then we have meters squared, because once again, it is talking about how many meter by meter squares you can fit inside that rectangle. Go ahead and try these two on your own. The area for the triangle is going to be 106.6 centimeters squared, and for the rectangle, 88.4 miles squared. Once again, we can use these formulas to find missing values. So recall that our area formula for our triangle is area is equal to base times height divided by 2. In this case, it tells us that our area is 69 inches squared. Our base is 23 inches. We don't know our height, and then we are dividing by 2. So the first thing I'm going to want to do is simplify this right side of the equation. I can rearrange it so that the numbers are next to each other and say 23 divided by 2 times h. Because multiplication and division happen in the same step of PEMDAS, we can rearrange that right there. So when I do 23 divided by 2, I'm going to get an answer of a simplified equation of 69 is equal to 11.5 h. So that is still being multiplied. Then I can finish by dividing both sides by 11.5. And when you do that, you are going to get a final answer of 6. And then we need a label. It is just talking about the height. So 6 inches is equal to our height. So we plugged our values in, simplified, and then solved. Go ahead and try this one on your own. Simplifying down, we get to 29 times h. Dividing both by 29, we get an answer of h is equal to 17.3 inches. If you have questions about this or anything else from the lesson, please feel free to reach out and let me know.